Hello everyone, today we have Nakamichi's surround speakers. This is for the 9.2.4 eARC, and these are the star of the show. This is the best part about the entire surround sound home theater system. You would think it's the subwoofers. Nope, those are tuned wrong subwoofers. The speakers are perfect. They are tuned correctly, made correctly. These are incredible. If you're thinking about buying the Nakamichi 9.2.4 eARC, or if you already have it, you have to watch Godzilla, King Kong, New Empire. That movie, oh my goodness. You would be looking up at your ceiling non-stop. These have the atmospheric effect, so it bounces the sound waves off of your ceiling, which is no other way to say it cool. It's just very, very cool. And what's really cool about these is before I had laid them down to try it, they were all upright just like this. And I was watching when that movie came out for stream, I was watching Godzilla, King Kong, New Empire, and I kept looking up at my ceiling like, what is that? And I'm wondering, like, what in the world? And I had to remind myself, like, oh yeah, it's the speakers. The speakers are doing that. So later on, when the wife and I watched it together, I was waiting for her. I kept looking at her, seeing, it's like, I'm just waiting for her to look up. And sure enough, she started looking up like, what was that? And she kept asking, what did you hear that? Yeah, I heard it. I didn't say anything. I just wanted her to, I wanted her to process it on her own. And then finally she realized, she's like, is that the speakers? And I was like, yeah. So that was a really cool moment to watch her go through that. And here's the back of them. Now the little channel button, clearly labeled. And what's really different about these is, you see, it's one wire. Like I've had tons of speakers, DJ equipment, all kinds of many different home theater systems, which I currently still have tons of subwoofers and such. And when you see a speaker that takes one wire like this, like when you've been for decades, you see there's two wires going into every speaker, and all of a sudden there's one wire going into every speaker. So the red and white will plug into the back of the powered subwoofers. So two of these speakers will go to each subwoofer, and the back of the subwoofer has one white, one red, and the one white goes to the speaker and one red goes to that speaker. It's different, but it's essentially the same. But if you look closely, you can see that the wire does have two wires actually running through it. Yeah. And I do not use the mounts and the brackets because I'm gonna end up changing the seating position later. I have these mounted. One is in the corner on the cat tree. One is on the other corner on this thing, on this little ottoman right here or whatever. And one is near the door, and the other is on the corner kitchen counter, so I can hear in the kitchen. That's what's really cool about these. That's what I love about these, is that one on the kitchen counter is just the best, because I could be at the kitchen sink running water, I could be at the stove cooking, I could be in the kitchen doing whatever, and I can hear what I need to hear from the TV. I don't necessarily need to be in front of the soundbar, because these speakers are so powerful. Yeah, so I might later on mount them to the wall once I change the seating position and get an even bigger TV. Maybe. We'll see. But for now, I'm not mounting them. But the brackets are included. You can see they're universal size threads, whatever that is. And here's the remote. And you can control these from surround back and surround side or surround front. And what's really cool about this is, so when we have guests over and people want to hang out at the bar or whatever, at the counter or whatever, I can turn that speaker down with these two to surround back. So the surround bar will stay loud and the surround fronts will stay loud, but that back speaker near the guest will be lower, which is really cool for the kids that want to keep watching TV or whatever. Very cool stuff. And then these have multiple angles, so I'll show you. You can lay them flat like this. That one. Or you can stand it up like this. So you can see from the side, it's laying on its side or that, like that, and like this. So you got two options. So this one's, you can see the angle degree. So let's say that's mild angle of bouncing sound waves off your ceiling, and this would be like extreme bouncing off your ceiling, depending, I guess it depends on the angle, height of your ceiling. But these speakers are so incredible, it doesn't stand it straight up just like that. So when they're placed like this, yes, the effect is crazy. And again, the third time I watched that King Kong New Empire, when we had guests over, and I was waiting, same thing, waiting to see people look up. Everyone looked up, and sure enough, the effects, everyone was looking up like, what is that? Is there fireworks going off? Someone got fireworks? Nope, those are the speakers. So if you have any movie that you love, that's available in Atmos, you need to rewatch that movie with these speakers in Atmos. And I recommend you start with King Kong Godzilla New Empire. And here's the Nakamichi on top, which you can actually tell it's rose gold, which is incredible. You can see it in this camera. Pretty cool. And these speakers are heavy. Like that's not a light speaker. And of course their outer shell is like this soft, well, that part's plastic, but this right here is all metal, soft aluminum. And there's rubber grips, so you can lay it flat on this end, and then the whole bottom is one big rubber grip pad. Very cool. Yes, these are better than the subwoofer. And this stereo I got from Amazon from Black Friday, no, Cyber Monday. So I had this stereo. If you're thinking about buying this, I recommend you wait. Put it in your cart. Put it in your cart and add to save for later and watch the price. The price of this is gonna go up and down by hundreds of dollars. I promise. Amazon does this on a regular basis. You just gotta time it right. So before I bought this, it was in my cart for months, and I was watching the price, and I'm like, it's coming down. It goes back up. It's coming down even more. I was like, all right, I might as well just consider this to myself Christmas gift, and I'll wait for Black Friday. So I waited for Black Friday, and I was like, that's the lowest it's gonna be. I should buy it. Just buy it. And I didn't. I was like, crap, I missed it. So I was like, maybe Cyber Monday. Maybe it'll only go back up by like $100, and I'll still save hundreds. Well, Cyber Monday came and it stayed the same price as Black Friday, so I snagged it. And it arrived a whole week early. So I had this thing 3 weeks before Christmas as a Christmas gift to ourselves, but I didn't open it until Christmas. So I had to walk by this big, beautiful box for weeks, patiently waiting to open it. And then, of course, being a reviewer, you know, once you receive a product, when you review products, when you receive it, you know you can't just go play with it. You have to open it and take pictures and possibly do videos of everything. So yeah, that was a very long 3 weeks of me waiting till Christmas to open this, and it was so worth it. Very happy with the stereo. So the power subwoofers are wireless, which makes these speakers essentially wireless. This whole system is plug and play. No matter what anyone says, this system is plug and play. It took me longer to untangle the wires. The wires for this is so long. Like this stereo is really designed for a huge room. Like no matter what anyone says, this stereo is so loud. It's designed for a very, very huge room. So whether it's your tiny house or a mansion, this stereo will work for you, because the level goes up to 100, but it goes up by twos. It's not like, that's another thing that's different about this stereo. The volume increases in increments of 2. It doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all the way up to 100. And anything past like 25 or 30 is too much for my house. So if you have a big house or a huge basement and you can really crank this thing, yes, that's what these long wires are for. So when I unboxed this and finished all my pictures and stuff, it took me longer to untangle these long wires than to actually set the stereo up. So this stereo is plug and play, because the subwoofers are wireless. They automatically connect every time you turn it on and off. Even when the power goes out, the subwoofers automatically reconnect themselves. However, this is the updated eARC, which I recommend you get the updated eARC because of the wireless effect. So there are talks, which is true, I can confirm, there are talks about Wi-Fi interference with these speakers. Because the subwoofer is wireless to the soundbar, that makes these speakers wireless to the soundbar, so there's interference with Wi-Fi. So thankfully I have the updated version, which automatically adjusts itself. You can manually go in there and switch your frequency so it's not the same as your internet Wi-Fi, but mine does it automatically. So when the power goes out and the stereo resets itself, yes, the stereo does reset itself. For the first day, I will get Wi-Fi interference. So for instance, the speaker that I have on the kitchen counter, and we also have a cell phone dock on the kitchen counter also. So if I was to stand near that part of the counter and pull up, like, let's say YouTube or TikTok, something that requires Wi-Fi, then this speaker will cut out. These speakers will cut out because of the interference. I can tell. If I do any adjustment on my phone that will pull a big portion from the router, there's immediately interference. You can hear the back speakers cutting out, which is highly annoying. People do complain about it, but there is a way to fix it. If you do not have the updated version, you have to manually go in and do this every time you unplug it or it loses power. Mine is updated, so it does it automatically. So for the first day, I just deal with it cutting in and out. After that, I know it's not gonna do it again unless the power goes out. So it's not that big of a deal. But these will have Wi-Fi interference, unfortunately, because the subwoofers are wireless. But that's all right. And it's not that much more for the eARC, the updated version. It's not that much more. Highly recommend you get it. But yeah, this is the Nakamichi surround speakers, the star of the show, the best part of the whole stereo, even better than the soundbar too. Don't forget that. Let me know in the comments if you're considering this stereo and what questions do you have. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this, because I have tested these, and let me say, this stereo is so awesome, it makes my dogs bark. When I'm watching YouTube, which is, another good point, YouTube on this stereo is awesome. If you like YouTube, you need to stop watching on your cell phone, stop watching on your tablet, stop watching on your computer, pull up YouTube on your TV and watch it through this. It's incredible. However, when YouTubers on my TV are making videos in their house, let's say you're making a video in your house and there's a truck outside your house while you're recording with an exhaust, or there's a car outside your house while you're recording and there's an exhaust. Well, that exhaust noise with these speakers paired with the deep bass of those big subwoofers, my dog think there's a truck outside. So my dogs will start barking. So if you're a YouTuber and there's a truck outside your house or your apartment while you're recording that's backing up or moving whatever, that faint noise will play through these speakers and my dogs will start barking like FedEx or UPS is here, which is annoying but incredible. Just shows how awesome these speakers are. Which brings me to the other point of movies. These speakers are designed, this whole stereo is designed for movies, not music. If you are a music head like I am, I have separate DJ subwoofers and speakers. 18-inch, 15-inch, big, expensive DJ equipment for the farm. I live on a farm, so I blast music as loud as I want. So I have huge, all kinds of different DJ equipment and other home theater systems throughout the house. And these speakers are made for movies. The subwoofers are made for movies. The soundbar is made for movies. It is not made for music. If you're looking for a stereo that you want to jam music to, also do not buy these Nakamichis. If you are a music head, do not buy Nakamichi. You would be highly disappointed, I promise, because it's not, the subwoofers are wrong. The subwoofers are tuned wrong for music. Not to mention, there's no Bluetooth, so you can't really connect your cell phone. So I connect my iPhone through the little lightning weird adapter, and it lowers the volume. If you know what I'm talking about, when you listen to Bluetooth speakers, where like, or your home theater system, where you're watching TV, watching movies, or music plays through a commercial on your TV, and it's loud, and then you connect your phone, and all of a sudden the volume's lower. That's how this stereo is, because there's no Bluetooth, so the volume drops, which is so annoying. But if a movie plays that music, or a commercial, or YouTube plays that music, the music sounds really good. The subwoofers are still wrong, but the music sounds incredible because these speakers are awesome. The subwoofers are the bad part about the stereo. Like, if you're into music, you're gonna be disappointed with the subwoofers. If you love movies, the subwoofers are okay. The speakers are great. The soundbar is really good. The subwoofers suck. They're tuned wrong. Downward fire at 10 inches. Yeah, just tuned all wrong. So if you don't know about sound waves, so the way it works is when your TV plays sound, all the higher frequencies are going to come from this speaker. So just imagine like all your sound is going to start from here and go down as the frequency drops. So let's say bass is going to come down, come down, come down. All right, the speaker can't handle anymore. So the bass will transition to the subwoofer. That's what the subwoofer is for. The subwoofer is there to transition to the low frequencies. But the way this speaker will transition from low frequency, and then boom, the subwoofer takes over, it's messed up. It's so messed up. I can't believe they let this system sell like this. It's so jacked. It's wrong. And that's why I say the subwoofers are tuned all wrong for this stereo. And it's just hard to explain, but you will notice it. If you're a speaker head and you decide to buy this, you will notice there's a weird transition from the speaker to the subwoofer, and it's messed up. It's messed up. And that's why you can say that this would be what Nakamichi makes the best soundbar home theater systems for movies, but the quality of their subwoofers and the way they control their frequencies is cheap. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to say it. Any of those big brands, Sony, JBL, Infinity, any of those big brands, they would have that transition right, especially Bose. That the way it switches frequencies down to the subwoofer would be tuned perfectly, but it's jacked on this system, unfortunately. However, it's still a great system, especially if you catch it on sale. If you can catch this thing around $1,000, or if you can catch it somewhere around 1,200, buy it. Yep, for sure buy it. Or if this thing dips to 900 anything during Black Friday, buy it. Messed up subwoofers are not at $900. You should buy it. Even at $1,000 with messed up subwoofers, buy it, buy it, buy it. This is an awesome home theater system. Awesome. Especially if you don't have a keen music ear like I do. You will absolutely love this. Unfortunately, this is not for apartments. Do not get this stereo for apartments. If you live in apartments, they're gonna hate you. You're gonna get noise complaints. If you live in a small house where your houses are attached, or like condos or whatever, or your houses are like 5 feet away, where your neighbors are in your partner's conversations, yeah, they might not like you. But for sure, apartment, do not buy this, because the bass volume right here only goes down to 0. So like most stereos, when you lower the bass, you can go 10 to 0, and then it starts going -1 all the way to -10. This stops at 0. So the subwoofers are never really off. There's always that faint bass there. But that faint bass, if you live in an apartment, you're gonna get noise complaints, even at 0. If you have this stereo on 0 in an apartment, your neighbors are gonna hate you. And I keep mine on 10 because, bass head. Yeah. So if you have a house where there's some space in between you and your neighbors, or if you're gonna bury the stereo in your basement, yeah, blast away. But this stereo, let me say again, this stereo is designed for a very, very, very big room. So just keep that in mind. And also, set up your speakers any way you want. The recommended in the instruction manuals makes no sense. It makes no sense. Not only does it not make sense, your wife will hate you because your speakers, like, why are these beside the couch? This is weird. And I have 4 dogs, 2 big pit bulls and 2 small dogs and 2 cats. So these cannot be sitting on some kind of bipod or whatever, or some little speaker stand beside the couch like the instructions recommends. The way the instructions recommend, that's got to be for a single guy with no pets, because it's going to be in the way and it doesn't make any sense. But set them up how you want. And again, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thank you, everyone.